Welcome back. This is Session 0 where I discuss world building and other RPG topics. Today I'm going to randomize a character for the hex crawl I built in my last video. Stick around if you want to see how I created this. Thanks for sticking around. Right up front I want to say that while I've tried to hide it as much as possible, you'll likely see a lot of cuts in this video. The process looks pretty quick as presented here, but I actually spend a lot of time thinking about the cards I've drawn before I show you what I do with them. So keep in mind that this is not meant to be sped through. I have used this playmat before, although I've made a few modifications, so this will just be a quick overview. The updated playmat, the hex map, and some other new files are in the Oracle deck download in a zip folder called New Files 62222. I'll start with a class card and then draw 5 additional cards and place them on the mat. Now I'll rearrange any cards I like except for my class card, and when they're in position, I'll use them for the stats and this sentence here, which gives me, I am Brienne, a merciless evil fighter. My ultimate goal involves a noble named Anika and a holy relic. Brienne has some awful stats, but I'm fine with that. I'm also fine playing an evil character, because that already provides some conflict. I'll use what I know so far about the world and my ultimate goal, which isn't much, to start a campaign front. The description is simple. Lady Anika of Isond hired me to recover an ancient holy relic, but refuses to tell me why she seeks it. The cast right now is Lady Anika, and I have 2 stakes questions. What is the holy relic, and why does she want it? The next step is why I made this video. I'll use the deck to create 3 factions and something which has been missing from my previous solo attempts, bonds. The factions add to the world building while their bonds add to my character's history and future narratives. For each faction I'll draw 4 cards and look for traits, alignments, people, places, things, and even monsters. And the first one I get looks really good. I'm going to go with helpful good vampires for 2 reasons. First, it's not the common trope. But second, it's a role reversal. They're good, and I'm evil, so it lends itself to some interesting storytelling. I'm also going to choose one of the D6s for their faction reach. This is a mechanic used during the travel phase to determine if that faction will have a presence in the hex I'm moving into. Next, I'll ask 1 or 2 simple questions about its conflict. I'm going to go with, are they feared and misunderstood because they're vampires? Oh, and I get no but. No, they're not feared because people know they're good, but vampire hunters don't care. They're going to hunt them anyway. I love that, and I don't think I need to ask any more questions. Let's draw another faction. Arrogant evil soldiers totally gives me a stormtrooper vibe, so I'll go with that. I'm going to give them a reach of 4. I think they're led by Tanner the Ruthless. And because I already have this idea about stormtroopers and an empire, I feel like the government in my world is evil. I'm going to assume that's the case, but I want to know if it's an empire or just an evil kingdom. I'll assume yes, and I'll assign the and to empire and but to kingdom. And I get and, so this is an evil empire. I'll fast forward through the 3rd faction and do something I forgot to do earlier, which is set aside 1 card from each faction which most identifies it. So I'm going to go back and grab Vampire, Soldier, and Dancer. Now I'll shuffle them and draw 1, which gives me a negative bond with the associated faction. And I get soldiers, nice. I think I used to be one of them, but I fought with Tanner and almost killed him. So they've kicked me out and basically told me they'll kill me the next time they see me. I love that. It adds more conflict, and I'll use this to update my campaign front, which I'll talk about shortly. I can choose one of the others to be a faction for which I have a positive bond, and I think I'll pick the vampires. And again, because I like the role reversal, I think they help me when they're able to, in exchange for me fighting off vampire hunters. I'm an evil fighter protecting good vampires. That sounds like fun. Alright, so now I've copied everything over to my new style character sheet. You can use this sheet however you want, but I print it on cardstock. That way I can cut it up into individual cards and put them into binder card pages. I've referenced my copy of Dungeon World for the fighter's moves, but I'll use this play sheet to show my choices. I chose a halfling because I can use the stat boost with my low stats, and I chose a well-crafted, huge, blood-stained axe as my signature weapon. I didn't record it, but I also gave her spiky hair. I see Brienne as a shorter, evil version of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, with a weapon which is just unrealistically big for her. I recorded her damage die, starting HP, and armor as well. Now, because I only care about the roll modifiers, I don't use the actual attributes. This is why my fellow character creator says to use 12 plus con for HP. This also means when I level up, I'll add one to a modifier rather than an attribute. Finally, I updated my campaign front. Lady Anika's payment, should I recover the relic, is that she'll convince the soldiers, most likely with money, to end their vendetta against me. I also made the soldiers a corrupt government danger, as I see them as the government's enforcers. This adds a bit of a timer to the campaign, because their reach is 4. Every time I travel to a new hex, there's a 67% chance that they'll have a presence there. So I'm either going to have to notice them before they notice me, or kill them before they can kill me or report my whereabouts. And I want to end this with a shot of my solo play setup. Something I'll talk about in the first actual play video is, I don't need this to be an epic, year-long campaign. It's going to go as long as it needs to go. And then I'll either create a new character and use them in the same world, or just create a new hex crawl. Alright, you know what to do if you like my content. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.